and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first time that you're seeing one of my videos. Hi, my name is Madison, and my husband and I, well, I was gonna say just recently got back, but honestly, now we've been back for a month. So my husband and I got back a month ago from a trip to Disneyland in California, and since then I have had 2 full stuffed bags of Disney merch just sitting in our bedroom, and I haven't touched it until today because I usually get back from trips and then unpack the stuff, do a haul, and then post the haul at the end of like the vlog series. But I did not do that this time. I just let the stuff sit in the bags. So we just unpacked them today. Welcome to the haul. We have a lot of cute fun stuff, and then also this is gonna be a combo video of a few weeks ago. I posted on my Instagram story a little question box just about Disneyland in general. And so we're gonna go through and answer some of those too. So that's gonna be at the end. Up front first is going to be the haul, and we're just going to jump right into it because we got a lot of stuff to share and a lot to chat about. So we're going to do all the clothing items that I got, and then some, I guess, just park merch, and then also just some Disneyland hotel things because we stayed at Disneyland Hotel. I'll end on sharing all the pins that we got, and then after that we will jump into the little Q&A section. So up first, I'm already wearing it. This is from the Cake-Worthy brand, and it just says Slow Sundays, and it's got Goofy on it, and then it's got his name like embroidered on the sleeve. I love this sweatshirt. It's a really pretty blue. That's more accurate of the like coloring. So love this sweatshirt. Also from Cake-Worthy. This one, I just think that's hilarious. It's just, I'm hungry. I think I got both of these in a medium. They're made a little bit oversized, which is nice, but I love the purple on this and all the little stars. I think that is super cute. I'm looking at the pile, and I did come home with 3 sweatshirts because this next one you will probably recognize. It kind of went viral in Disney World. When last time I was in Disney World, I got the version of it that's Tigger, that's like pink and has Tigger on it. But in Disneyland, I got the one that actually went viral because it says Disneyland on it. I really wanted to get some sweatshirt or a shirt that said Disneyland on it, and I really love the way that these fit. I think I also got this in a medium. Yes, I did. Can we talk about how much better Disneyland's font is than Disney World's? I feel like so much of Disney World's merch I would like, but I end up not liking it because I just don't like as much, I guess. I don't like the Disney World logo font as much as Disneyland's. Disneyland's just, she is superior. And then the next thing I got, so it is Pluto's 90th birthday celebration, and they came out with so much cute stuff. So many things that I debated getting in the parks and we just didn't, and now I think we might order this one specific jacket for Dayton online that I just keep thinking about. I did pick up one thing, and I'm actually also wearing it right now. Can I show you this without having to take my sweatshirt off? This t-shirt is part of Pluto's like birthday collection, and this is actually the kids, I think, but I loved it. It's like raglan tee style with the maroon arms, and then it's got Pluto, and then the bottom of it has this tag, Pluto, he melts your heart since 30. I thought that was so cute. So I grabbed this t-shirt, and I also just am such a fan of, if I can find stuff that fits me in the kids section, to get that over the adult section because kids stuff is always cheaper. The one jacket that we did end up getting for Dayton, I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, you have to get that. Which again, I've seen this in Disney World now, and it's just, I don't like it as much because Disney World's font is not as good as Disneyland's. It is this racing themed jacket. Isn't that so good? And the back of it is just the stripe continuing on to the back. It's like, we cannot pass that up. So we came home with 4 sweatshirts slash jackets. Excited to wear these back to the park when it's cooler weather. And then the next thing I got was this Disneyland hat. Again, just couldn't pass it up because of the Disneyland font. And Dayton and I have an extensive hat collection, but no just solid white ones. So I really liked this, and It's a trucker, so we really love trucker snapback style hats. Wasn't gonna leave this one behind. This next thing I showed in the packing vlog, I believe, or the announcement vlog about going to Disneyland. This Disneyland 70th bag. When I saw this come out online, I immediately ordered it because I just had a feeling that if I really liked it, I wasn't going to be able to find it at Disneyland. And I was correct. This was sold out. They still had some other cute, different 70th merch items. One thing that I keep thinking about that I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get it because I don't have any use for it, but they actually had like a plush of Mickey. It was more like, I don't think it was a plush, it was more like a statue, but it was made out of plush material of him with like holding the flag. It was really cute, but I just have absolutely no need for it. So I'm glad I got it on the bag because I will for sure be using this bag. That's basically all the clothing. I do have one more thing that I guess you could consider it to be clothing, but I got only one pair of ears on this trip. Thank you, thank you. I know, I thought I would be coming home with more, but I stuck with one. It's the little Halloween pumpkins because the Disneyland pumpkin is so iconic. And that was one of the things I was most excited about seeing in Disneyland. We planned our Disneyland trip for Halloween time a little bit because I wanted to see the pumpkin. And I wanted to see the 70th castle and all of, like, the 70th decorations they had up, so it was a win-win. I love these. I almost got the pumpkin ears that Disney put out last year that had like black on them, but I don't know, I wasn't like totally in love with them. These I was totally in love with, so, and they just remind me of Miss Disneyland Pumpkin. Now, let's see. If you've been watching my vlogs for a while, you know about Dayton and I trying to collect the Discovery Series Starbucks Disney mugs. And you also know that we usually fail at remembering to bring some home. And here I am reporting back that we did in fact fail to bring one of them home. I don't know what it is. We just can't remember to ever get all the ones that we want. But we did come home with the number one that I wanted, which is the Disneyland one. And Dayton has been begging me to get this haul filmed so that we can start using these. So when he gets home from work, he will be very pleased that we can now start using our mug. I will do a little slow rotation so you can see, but it's so cute. I love the colors. I feel like it's very different than all of the Disney World ones that we have. And the best part, right at the end, Mr. Toad himself. Oh, and then the inside color is pink. I love bringing these back. And then this is not Disneyland, but it's on theme with the Starbucks mugs. We also just wanted to get the California one. We got that one. The mug that we're missing is California Adventure. I don't even know if we ever saw it. That's probably why we didn't think to pick it up, because I don't think we ever saw one anywhere. We didn't go looking for one. Here's the California mug. She's also very pretty. Really love the colors on this one too. And then the inside of that one is red. Is that red? It's like a reddish orangish. The next thing I saw on Instagram, I think, before we went on the trip, and I said I must locate that and have it. It is a tiny little Disneyland balloony. I love these things because they quite literally will stay blown up for years. Disneyland just killed it with the 70th merch and design and fonts and everything about it. Here's a little close-up. It's vintage Mickey Mouse and just the colors. I love it so much. And then on this side it's got the Disneyland D and he's holding his little flag. So cute. I wish this side of it, where he's got all these hats, I wish that was on a shirt because I would have bought that. I've just been calling it Balloony Jr. It never got an actual name. Circling back around to Pluto's 95th birthday celebration, they had mystery boxes of these little basically Loungefly backpack keychains you can attach to a backpack, but it looks like a mini Loungefly. Did I just say complete English sentence? I honestly don't know what I just said, but hopefully that made sense. And they were all different types of designs, but all of them were Pluto. So it was basically Pluto wearing different hats, and one of them was birthday Pluto. and that is the one I wanted. He had on a little birthday hat and it said 95 down the corner. That's the one I wanted. I think there was like 6 or 7 options, so the chances of, you know, getting the one you want are slim. And I opened this up and I screamed because look how cute he is. He's got his birthday hat on, 95, and it looks like a tiny loungefly backpack. Do I know what I'm gonna use this for? No. I will probably just hook it onto a bag with nothing in it. So I was very excited about that. I don't remember the other options because I was so, wait, they're coming back to me. There's a sailor, a gardener maybe. For sure there was a sailor because I remember thinking that's the one I probably want the least. So I'm very happy that we ended up with birthday Pluto. The other thing that I got from the park that I showed in the vlogs was the Disneyland conductor hat. It's like a train conductor hat, but it's got Mickey ears on top of it, and I didn't get this filmed in time to show that off in this vlog because that was for one of my friends, so she already has it. That brings us, before we get to the pins, that brings us to the Disneyland Hotel random things that we brought home. I didn't even realize that Dayton put these in our suitcase, some of them. Dayton is very sentimental and he will bring things home that I just don't even think about bringing home, which is a nice surprise when we actually end up getting home. A few of those things that I did not know that he packed in the suitcase from our room. He packed our Disneyland Hotel luggage tag, which honestly, that's cute. Like, you could put that in a picture frame with a cute little background behind it and it would make a great souvenir. He also packed both of our Disneyland and our California Adventure maps. He was very attached to the maps on this trip. He did not want to use the mobile map on the Disneyland app. He guided us around using these. So, and then in the room there was a notepad that said Disneyland Hotel on it, and I just wrote a note on there that just said I love Disneyland, and he brought that home too. Those were his couple of random things from the hotel that he brought home. I also brought home some random things. This first thing, which is not random, but I haven't shown them yet, are our little first visit buttons. I actually ended up getting 2 because when we first checked in, the girl that wrote my first one, I immediately touched the ink and my name rubbed off. So I had to go back and get a second one later. So first visit 2025, Dayton and Madison Disneyland buttons. Then from the hotel, I kept our room key sleeve. Look how cute that is. It's got Disneyland 70th on it. I love that they gave a physical room key, and they're special because they are the Disneyland 70th room keys. So she gave us Aurora and Dumbo. I think they're designed just so cute, and they say celebrate happy on them. If anyone after the travel day vlog where I showed our room was wondering what room we were in the Discovery Tower, floor 6, room 0631. We didn't even realize that we were in the DVC new section until Brandon and Heidi had to tell us, oh, you got like the new rooms. So I don't know how we did that. Absolutely loved staying at the Disneyland Hotel. And then for the 70th, again, they left this in the room. Inside is this keepsake photo of the 70th castle. That's, oh, it just got dark, sorry. That's cool because when we went to Alani did the same thing. They had an Alani poster keepsake, so we need to figure out how we kind of want to maybe frame those or display them. And the last 2 things that I snagged from the room, they had Joffrey's Disneyland 70th coffee. So I took one of the little Keurig pods. Am I ever going to use this? No, because I don't have a Keurig machine. And then the last thing, which this is one that I'm like, I probably wasn't supposed to take this, but I grew attached to it, so I wanted to take it. In the room, there was a Disneyland Hotel pin. So it's just a pin. They've probably got thousands of them. In Disneyland, if you're watching this, I will treasure it forever. Okay, that brings us to pins. first things first is this is an unopened Disneyland mystery pack, but it doesn't belong to me. This is for Michaela, who stayed here with Ollie, our dog, while we were gone. It's taken every ounce of self-control for me to not open it. She is coming into town this weekend, so I'm going to make her open it as soon as she walks through the front door of my house. I think Dayton and I only opened 3 of these on our trip. Opened 3, purchased 4. No, did we get more than that? I don't remember. Pin trading, we did not do as much pin trading as I thought we were going to. I'll have to look at the questions everyone asked and see if anybody asked about pin trading, and then we can get into it. Did not do a ton of pin trading. Also did not do a ton of pin buying, and that is just because I have found, for me personally, I would much rather spend $40 on a sweatshirt or an article of clothing or a hat or a pair of ears than a pin. I enjoy a good mystery pin unboxing. I'm not a huge fan of buying rack pins. It's just me. But because we stayed at Disneyland Hotel, I was like, we need to buy at least 1 rack pin of Disneyland Hotel. So this one, we both really loved this one. So I feel like this one embodies the vibe of Disneyland Hotel really well. So that's the one that we got. And then in these Disneyland mystery pouches, they have a few different sets that you can collect. They have 25 years of pin trading. They have the Disneyland D with a character, which are the ones that I was really looking forward to. Then they have a set of Goofy as different holidays. And they also have a set of like all pink characters. I think there's one more set that's possible, but I don't remember what they are. Here's my thing of pins to show you. I will scoot in closer and we're just gonna keep them all on here. Out of the mystery packs, we ended up getting the pink Bing Bong and then the pink Aurora. The Goofy set, we ended up getting, I think we got 4th of July Goofy and I traded it for something else. But then we also got St. Patrick's Day Goofy. And then the Disneyland D's, we got Lumiere and Oswald, which that one was like the #1 of the Disneyland D's that Dayton wanted. Then 25 years of pin trading, we got Jiminy Cricket. Dayton really wanted Mr. Toad, and it turns out Brandon and Heidi got multiple Mr. Toads. So they're gonna, I think, give us one of their Mr. Toads, which is very nice. And then unfortunately we got a repeat. So we got another Lumiere and another pink Aurora. If anyone is looking for these to complete their Disneyland set, let me know, because I have these 2 available to trade. I got this green Pluto, and then I got a Oogie Boogie Bash pin that I traded. And then these I already had. I just had them on here in case I found more of the set while we were there, but I did not. I forgot I grabbed this. I took this from the Disneyland Hotel kitchenette in the room, but I haven't opened it. I'm assuming it's just got like salt and pepper and ketchup. And that concludes the haul. That's everything that we bought, I think. There's always a good chance that I accidentally left something out. Let me know in the comments what your favorite thing was that we got. But now we're moving on to the Q&A. I have not looked at any of the questions that were asked, so this is gonna have no rhyme or reason. It's gonna be totally random, and you're just gonna get word vomit of all my thoughts about the trip. But real quick, I need to get something to drink and maybe a snack. And maybe, should I move? Should we sit on the couch or somewhere more comfortable? I mean, the floor is not uncomfortable, but also, did anyone notice we have a different background? We have a fireplace in our living room now, which is very exciting. Getting sidetracked. Madison, go get something to drink. Okay, I scooted this ottoman over a little bit so I could lay my cup right here. I went with the least hydrating option, iced coffee. Who is ready for all my thoughts on Disneyland? I'm not even sure that I'm ready for them because I haven't looked at these questions, so I don't even know what the thoughts are that I'm going to have. Here's the little story that I posted. Let's see. Should we do random, like I just click on a random one, or should we actually look at them? Let's let the first one be random. great one to start out with. Did you feel like you were in the Disney bubble at Disneyland? I feel like I talked a little bit about this in the vlogs, but 100% yes, we did. I heard a lot of people going into the trip saying, you know, kind of just giving us a warning of like, if you're used to Disney World, saying like Disneyland doesn't feel like the bubble, because if you stay at one of the Good Neighbor hotels, which is just one of the hotels that's around Disneyland but not owned by Disneyland, then to get to the parks you just are like walking down the street, and on your way to the parks you're passing by a Rite Aid and a Waffle House, and it like takes you out of this fantasy world kind of a thing. But we stayed at Disneyland Hotel, and the setup is like Disneyland Hotel is right here, then right outside of it is the downtown Disney strip, and you have to walk through that, and then the entrance of the park is at the other end. So literally our only walking path was just this straight line back and forth of walking from Disneyland through downtown Disney to Disneyland Park and back. So because we stayed in one of Disney's hotels, 100% it felt like we were in this Disney bubble. So since doing that, I don't think I could ever go back there and stay at not a Disneyland hotel, just because I know that it did give us that experience that you do get at Disney World. The big question that a lot of people are asking is one that I expected, which is, what do you think of Disneyland versus Walt Disney World? Overall thoughts of Disneyland versus World. How did it compare to Walt Disney World? Former Disneyland local turned Walt Disney World regular. What were your favorite differences? Dayton and I talked, I feel like we talked a lot about this on the trip, because even when we were on the trip in the parks, you know, running into subscribers and having conversations with them about it, I would say looking at Disneyland versus Walt Disney World, a word that I would use to describe both of them, I guess not really word, maybe phrase, Walt Disney World has like wow factor and Disneyland is charming. Disney World is very over the top and Disneyland is very cutesy, homey vibes. I feel like it's very hard to compare the actual parks just because Walt Disney World has 4 and they're all so different, whereas Disneyland only has the 2, and those 2 are also very different. If I was comparing Magic Kingdom to Disneyland Park, because if you don't know, Disneyland has 2 parks. It's Disneyland and then California Adventure. 2 different parks, 2 different themings, but if I was comparing Disneyland to Magic Kingdom in Disney World, Disneyland 100% better. It's so good. I think visiting Disneyland has maybe knocked Magic Kingdom down a notch on my list of my favorite parks. I don't know, I think I used to say that my order of favorite parks at Walt Disney World was Hollywood, Animal, they switch back and forth, then Magic Kingdom, then Epcot. Nobody asked me that question because I actually can't answer. What I'm trying to say is, now that I've seen Disneyland, I'm like, I wish Magic Kingdom was like that. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, trying to go through and find all the questions that are kind of in this topic of specific things to compare. How was the food compared to Disney World food? Disneyland food, okay, in Disneyland we really did not do any sit-down restaurants. I personally don't care enough about food to make that like a priority. I wanted to do rides, I wanted to meet characters. The only sit-down restaurant we did was for breakfast, and I feel like breakfast is kind of the same everywhere. It's kind of hard to compare that. So I can compare it to quick service because we did a lot of quick service. Disneyland wins again for quick service food. Everything was fantastic. Again, I wish Magic Kingdom had Disneyland's quick services. Quick service options? There was little carts everywhere that had just hidden gems of amazing different things. And then of course you have the Disneyland churros, which truly are so much better than Walt Disney World's. I said it in the vlog, but Disney World's churros are like hard on the inside, and it's not supposed to be like that apparently. Was the castle a letdown compared to Walt Disney World like people say, or was it just different? What I just said with comparing to the 2 parks. Disney World, wow factor. Giant castle. Disneyland, very cutesy, very homey, tiny castle. It just makes sense. That castle fits the vibe of that park perfectly. So I would not say it's a letdown at all. And it's just so cute because it's got the moat around it, and then you can go inside of the castle and there's like the Sleeping Beauty walkthrough thing, which is very fun. This is a good one too, just talking about how different are the vibes at Disneyland compared to Disney World. I feel like this is the thing that Dayton and I talked about the most. Everyone at Disneyland is so laid back. It feels so chill. Disney World is just hectic. It's a big vacation spot. I feel like the majority are not locals. It's people flying across the world, so they're making the most of every minute, and there's so much to do, so much you don't want to miss out on. Everyone's running around. I mean, if you've been to Disney World one time, you can just sit and watch families like rip each other apart because everyone's just stressed. In Disneyland, I don't think we saw a single family argument happening. What we noticed was, because Disneyland has a lot more California locals or people, you know, around the area, there's not as much rushing because people know that they can kind of come back whenever they want to. And the thing that really shocked us was, at one point we were walking around and Dayton was like, it is packed right now. There's people everywhere, and yet not a single ride has a line. We walked on to everything. How is that even possible? It's packed. We were talking to our friend Annie Pan that we had dinner with on the trip, and we asked her, we were like, what's the deal with that? And she said, yeah, people don't really care about the rides. They just want to hang out and enjoy the vibes. Like, that is so different than Disney World. The next comparing thing is, do you see more characters out and about compared to Walt Disney World? Yes. I wish Disney World had Disneyland's characters, or like how they do character interactions, and I know they're trying. I've been to Disney World recently where I've seen them trying to incorporate it, and everyone in Disney World is just so hardwired for how meet and greets go, and it's a totally different thing in Disneyland. So in Disneyland, characters come out, they roam around. Half the time you don't even see a character attendant with them. I know they're somewhere, but it looks like it's just the character out by themselves. It's wild. No one like flocks around them and is trying to stop them and get a picture. It's just kind of already known that when the character is out, the character gets to decide what's happening, and everyone just kind of respects that. An example is, at one point we were walking and Belle came out, and she just immediately spotted a little girl and went right to her, and they started walking together. No one tried to stop them. No one was trying to like get her attention. They were like, oh, she's with this little girl, like we're not gonna bother her. Which is just wild, because in Disney World, if a character steps out, it's like everyone's on it and wanting to get their picture and trying to form a line. I was in Disney World one time and they brought out Donald, and the attendant was like having to scream like, Donald's not, you know, don't form a line, Donald's just roaming around, and no one was understanding. They were just in a mass group following and trying to line up to get a picture, and she was like, this is not a line. Like, it's just, I hope we can get there. Camera battery hath died, so we switched it out. Let me see if there's any more like comparing questions. How did the pin boards compare? Honestly, Disney World's pin trading, as far as accessibility to it, is way better. We did not see a ton of pin boards. There was a few that you could just like walk up to, but I feel like Disneyland still has the same problem as Disney World with the fake pins. Pin trading is just starting to not be that fun because everything's fake. Okay, I think I got through all the specific comparison. There will be more as we go through more of these questions. So the next one is going to be, what was your favorite area? So I'll pick one area for each of the parks. Right off the bat, California Adventure, Avengers Campus. So good. The time that we were in California Adventure, we basically spent almost all of it in Avengers Campus because it was so fun. We don't have that in Disney World. I loved it so much because I love character interactions. If you don't enjoy character interactions, you probably won't have as much to do in Avengers Campus because a lot of it is just character interaction. I think my neighbor is weed whacking right now, so you're probably gonna hear that. But the Marvel characters are so much fun to talk to because they are in our timeline. They know that they are at Avengers Campus that is in Disneyland. Whereas pretty much every single other character that Disney has, when you do a meet and greet, you have to be sucked into their world, whereas Marvel is here. So I feel like if you struggle with character meet and greets, Avengers Campus is a great place to kind of start because they can talk about everyday, like, real life stuff. Disneyland, what was my favorite part? So Disneyland, honestly, let me get out the map because I can't remember. Okay, so Disneyland is honestly kind of set up like Magic Kingdom is. The lands going around, but they have more. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is basically a carbon copy of what we have in Disney World. New Orleans Square is very pretty. It reminded me a lot of Port Orleans Resort in Disney World. Oh my gosh. Toontown. Disney World got rid of Toontown many a year ago, and it's very sad because Toontown was amazing, and I'm so happy that I got to go see it again. And it just brought back so many childhood memories because I used to love going to Toontown in Florida, but also I used to have this computer game that I played where you basically lived in Minnie's house. There was no point to it, like you just like painted her fence and baked things, and I think you could walk around Toontown neighborhood. And then the other major note would be Tomorrowland in Disneyland is so much cooler than Disney World's Tomorrowland. They pretty much have a lot of the same rides, it's just the theming, like the atmosphere, I thought was a lot cooler. My final answer for Disneyland, my favorite area is actually going to be Fantasyland, which is funny because Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom is like my least favorite, but in Disneyland I think it is my favorite. It's so cutesy, it has all of the old nostalgic things. Favorite ride that's in Disneyland, not World? Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I'm not gonna say that's my favorite, but Dayton and I talk about it at least once a day because what is that? Favorite ride? Because I had some rides I really loved at Disneyland that we still have in Disney World. They're just a little bit different. Oh wait, no, I have an answer, except it's gonna not be accurate soon, but Indiana Jones. That was good. We are getting it in Walt Disney World because it's replacing Dinosaur, but as of right now, Indiana Jones. This one is, do you think that you're gonna be a Disneyland girly now? 100% we will be back. My friend Katie Brown, who also is on YouTube, she happened to be at Disneyland at the same time, and we didn't even realize that we were both gonna be there because it was like a surprise trip for both of us. I'll have her channel linked below because she's got Disneyland vlogs coming too. But I was talking with her and she said, I was really hoping Disneyland was gonna be kind of a one and done. Oh, that was cute, but don't really feel the need to go back. And she was like, no, we will totally be back. I said, same. An unexpected thing you loved about the parks? Honestly, for both of the parks, something that I didn't expect that I really loved was the fact that it was crowded, and yet when you went to go do something, nothing was crowded. Loved the fact that there was just so many people there to just be there and walk around because it is so happy and so fun to be there. This one just says not a Disneyland question, but how old were you in your first trip to Disney World? I was in kindergarten. If I can find any pictures, I will put them up. So first trip was in kindergarten, and then basically went every single year up until high school, and then stopped going for a little bit. And now you guys are on the journey with me, as we are obviously obsessed and going all the time now. And then this one is, which one was your favorite, Disneyland or Disney California Adventure? Ooh, I'm gonna have to say Disneyland, with the exception of Avengers Campus. I love Avengers Campus so much. I have always struggled with ranking Disney World's parks from favorite to least favorite, and now having added 2 more parks to that, all 6 of them, I don't know what the ranking would be. We're gonna have to come back to that. What was your favorite Disneyland exclusive ride, land, and experience? Disneyland exclusive ride, well, I kind of already answered that with Indiana Jones, but favorite exclusive Disneyland ride, yeah, I'm gonna have to say Mr. Toad. I hope they never get rid of that. Favorite Disneyland land or like area? Pixie Hollow. Why don't we have Pixie Hollow in Disney World? It's so cute, and I wish in Disneyland that it was bigger, but I feel like Disney World they could have just done so much more with Tinkerbell and Pixie Hollow, because those Tinkerbell movies are amazing. Experience, Disneyland exclusive experience, meeting Loki, if that counts. And then also the 70th celebration band. It was so cute, and they're so good. In my Disneyland vlog, I kept the entire like show that they did, because watching it, I literally teared up, because I just remember how happy I was in the moment when that was happening. Okay, now let's talk about the hotels. So a couple different questions. Where do you recommend staying? How was the hotel? Best hotel? So we ended up going to all three of the hotels, like visiting and walking around. We stayed at Disneyland Hotel, and that was my number one like pick, because that's the original. Disney World has value, moderate, deluxe hotels. Disneyland has 3 hotels. They have what their version of value, moderate, and deluxe is, except we visited all 3 of them, and I feel like they are more like equal level playing field. That makes sense. Disneyland's value is Pixar Place, and we walked around there a couple of times. It definitely feels more hotel-y than resort, just because it is one vertical tall building. There's not really like grounds to walk around on, but the theming is adorable. It's super clean, very colorful and fun. I feel like kids would really enjoy staying there because of like the theming too. And then they had Bing Bong in the lobby, so we got to like meet Bing Bong, which was fun. And then Disneyland Hotel, where we stayed, definitely gave more resort vibes. There's 4 main buildings, I think, a lot of walking paths. There's like a wedding venue, a really pretty pool. It's actually got 2 pools, a little cafe, restaurant, a bridge, waterfall. Like we were walking around, and I was like, some of this is giving Polynesian vibes. And in the room, so we were in the DVC Tower somehow, and which is the newer building, and the rooms are so nice, very nice. A lot of cute theming details all throughout. And then Disneyland's deluxe hotel is the Grand Californian, which I thought was going to be themed like the Grand Floridian, but it's not. It's mountain cabin-y. I guess more Wilderness Lodge-ish. Thought going into it. Grand Floridian, they're probably the same. No, theme is like polar opposite. So with that being said, next time we visit Disneyland, I would want to stay in Disneyland Hotel again. Grand Californian, I don't think I would spend that amount of extra money. I'd much rather stay in Disneyland Hotel, or honestly, when we go back, probably we'll do Pixar, because it was super cute too. A few questions about just itinerary and, you know, did we have enough days? How many days do we recommend? Itinerary tips. So I had heard going into the trip that 1 day at each park, like 1 day at Disneyland, 1 day at California Adventure is enough. I don't think so. You need at least 2 days in each park, because that's what we ended up doing. And after we got 2 full days in each park, I felt like that was enough. So if you're to a point where you're planning a trip and you're trying to decide, like you have the option of doing more than 2 days, definitely do it. If you don't have that option and you can only do 2 days at the parks, by all means still do that, because you'll get to do so much and it's still so much fun. I also got questions about food recommendations and budgeting tips and recommendations. I've said it once and I'll say it again, I'm not your girl for either one of those things. I have friends on YouTube that are very good at making budgeting videos or food videos. Brianna and Corey, very good at budgeting videos. Brandon and Heidi, very good at doing food review videos. Neither one of those are my specialty. And then this question is just, did you have so much fun? Of course, it was just the best, and it's always like, obviously I love all things Disney, so this trip was just extra special because it was still all things Disney, but it was new, you know? So it's not that often that people who love going to the parks get to experience like a totally new thing. And I think the last question is going to be, who's the winner, Florida or California? So Disney World or Disneyland. Even though it felt like I just talked on and on about how much better Disneyland is, my personal winner is still Disney World, because that's just what I grew up with. That is just home for me. So Disney World will always be like home base, home park, but Disneyland is real close second. Okay everyone, I've been sitting on the floor too long. My legs are asleep. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this haul. I hope you enjoyed all of the vlogs. Of course, if you missed any, they're all linked in a Disneyland playlist. And I hope I answered all of your questions that you have. If I didn't, if I missed one, or if you think, you know, of a question that I didn't answer, make sure to just comment it down below, because I always do my best answering all the YouTube comments, even if it takes me days or a week or two to get around to them. For our trip to California that we just took, we also went to national parks. So I have a national parks vlog coming. I don't know if it's already up at this point or if it will be up after this haul, but be on the lookout for that. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, for watching just any of my videos, subscribing to my channel. It means the world to me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!